Assalamualaikum. I'm Musabir. Today I'm presenting inflation in Russian aviation. Uh, please prepare for respect itself. So let's start. Uh, we all know about Russia and Ukraine war. On 2022, 24 February, Russia invaded Ukraine in a major escalation of Rush-Ukraine war that began in 2014. The invasion caused Europe's fastest growing refugee crisis since World War II, with more than 6.9 million Ukrainians fleeing the country and a third of the population displaced. Sanctions announced by US, UK, and European Union will make life difficult for Russian President Vladimir Putin. This is because of unprovoked and unjustified invasion of Ukraine. This sanction will create a um, major problem for Vladimir Putin's of managing his country's economy. With sanction and investor uncertainly cutting off capital inflows into Russia, the ruble was already facing the prospect of serious downward pressure that a central bank would have hoped to damp by deploying strategic currency reserves. Okay, close aerospace. World hasn't set a which of sanction as 25th March 2022, 36 countries, including European Union countries, the United Kingdom, the United States, have closed their airspace to Russian airlines. Russia has in turn banned airlines in most of those countries from entering or flying over Russia. Several airlines from countries not directly impacted by sanctions have also temporarily reduced flight to and from Russia. For example, you can say Japan and South Korea. In 2021, international traffic between Russia and the rest of the world accounted for 5.2% of global international traffic, but only 1.3% global total traffic. International air traffic to and from Russia accounted for 5.7% of total European traffic in 2021. World economy. So this is important thing. Uh, the conflict and related sanction will clearly reduce global trade, investment, and overall economy activity. Must certainly still remain regarding the war, its potential reach, and its duration. From where we stand today, we can expect up to 1%, just 1% point of global GDP growth to be lost in 2022. Hence, a global region in not currently in the curves, as the IMF forecasted global GDP to grow by 4.4% before the war. It is also worth noting that the world faced a Brent oil price in excess of USD 100 per barrel during 2011 to 2014, a period when global GDP growth averaged close to 3%. So now come to the point, Russian aviation. In 2021, Russian domestic revenue passenger kilometer, which is RPK, accounted for 4.5% of global RPKs. The Russian domestic air passenger and cargo market will be impacted by sanctions on leased aircraft, spare parts, maintenance, and training. At present, the airlines continue to operate regular schedule outside of the airspace close to Ukraine, which has been shut. Uh, industry Industry experts in Russia estimated that the extent of disruption is likely to become more apparent within 2 months from start of the war. The impact of the war on air travel to, from, and within Russia is already visible in ticket sales. International booking dropped sharply on 24 February 2022. They continued to deteriorate over the following days, with the number of refunds being close to the number of new tickets sold as per our most recent data. Actually, most recent means it's from 14th March. However, domestic ticket sales often trended far above 2019 pre-crisis levels as Russians substituted international trips for domestic holidays and amid efforts from the government to promote domestic travel. Mm, Following the start of military conflict, domestic ticket sales fell 40% below 2019 levels, though they have since recovered somewhat. So now the inflation. Inflation of Russian aviation. A combination of Western sanction, inflation, and airspace closure have caused prices the Russia aviation sector to skyrocket. As we said before, the cost of flight out of Russia has soared in the past week as Western sanctions take effect. In response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the Europe, USA, UK, and also Norway have closed their airspace to Russian aircraft. Russia has since banned those countries' airlines in retaliation. That has led to an extraordinary increase in price for Russians looking to travel to Europe. As we can see in this graph, the cost of flight from St. Petersburg to Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, has risen from just 55 pound to at the beginning of March to 1,457 pound. According to this data, also you can see New York, it's 211 pound to 1,587 pound. Berlin 93 to 584 pound, and so on. Many previously direct flights are now being routed to through Istanbul, Dubai, or Belgrade to the benefits of Turkish Airlines, Emirates, and Air Serbia. Uh, flight to neighbor Flight to neighboring Estonia now required a detour to Istanbul, raising the flight time from 1 hour to 11. That's really horrible thing. Uh, just imagine you have to in the aircraft 11 hour when you could complete it in 1 hour. Okay, and the price from 95 pound to 1,456. That's quite unexpected. Um, However, flight to Milan meanwhile are being routed through Dubai, raising the cost of 65 pound to 740 pound and adding 12 hours to the flight time. The sanction and the counter-sanction threaten to derail the recovery of an industry still suffering from COVID-19 pandemic. European Airlines made a net loss of 18.5 billion euro in 2021, according to Eurocontrol. Daily average flight for several leading carriers remained less than half of their pre-pandemic level, with the budget airline EasyJet down by 64% compared with 2009. In the conclusion, uh, I want to share about some information about the recovery of Russian aviation industry. So, the Russian credit rating agency ACRA believes that the country's air transport sector is unlikely to return to pre-crisis profitability levels until at least 2025, despite the trends toward the recovery. The sector, which had been on verge of unprofitable operation even before the pandemic, faces an increase in operation expenditure generated by rising inflation, It adds that fuel costs in particular show even more unfavorable dynamic for airlines, with the price index for the jet fuel at Moscow airports about a third higher than 2019 average. Russia's passenger air transport market came close to pre-crisis level in the second half of last year, with the country's airlines carrying around 11 million passengers in October 2021, which is just 1% below the figure of October 2019. Even though this recovery and trend weakened in November, there is evidence of pickup of early 2022. But Akra stresses also that it is still premature to talk about the fully recovery of industry. So that's it. Thank you very much, sir, and Assalamu alaikum.